They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh, if Jeremy Hill can hold on to a fucking football.
That doesn't make sense.
You're listening to the P&E Bengals Fan Podcast.
3, 2, 1.
So what's up, everybody? This is P&E, back from hiatus, but let's not get into that. Let's talk about these Bengals. What's up, Pete?
Not much. It's good to be back. Good to be back for our listeners, and good that the Bengals are, getting closer to getting up and running for the season. I'm kind of jacked and excited. We're in OTAs now. Draft's over with. Summer camp is around the corner, and next thing you know, it'll be the season. So I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm raring to go.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I can't wait.
Only 99 days left until the season starts or something of that nature, so.
Too long.
Yeah, always too long. You got to tell me. So what you think about the draft?
I feel good about it. At first I was skeptical about the cornerback, but I've come around looking at his tape and everything, and I'm pretty excited that we got him. We did get Tyler Boyd in the second round, so they're going to have to throw him right into the fire and see if he can compete, because looking at who else we have on the roster, you got to hope that he's at least a number 3.
I think you'll see that. I think they're confident of going in with LaFell at 2 and Boyd at 3. I'm not sure if I'm as confident as they are, but from what all the news is out of OTA, it sounds like Boyd is, adjusting himself well, and that, he's got some skill. So, but everybody says that around this time of the year. So until we really get to see him play, we don't know. But I like the draft personally. I think I'd love to pick up the cornerback in the first round. Looks like he's got some ball skill, and looks like he's going to help out. And kind of what it tells me is that maybe they're not as confident in Denard. Either that or they're not confident they're going to re-sign Fitzpatrick, one or the other. Which in either case, I like the pick, so I think Jackson looks pretty good. I think he's got a good future with us, so I'm excited. I love the, it seems like we had solid picks. We had Boyd, we had the kid in the third round, Nick Vigil or whatever his name is, the linebacker, and they said he looks pretty aggressive, so I like to hear that. And then the D tackle they picked up in the fourth round, everybody gave us a lot of kudos for. But I'm always wondering about that. Like, if everybody's so excited about him being at number 4, why wasn't he picked in the third round or the second round? But I think you put him next to Geno, he should make some noise. So,
if you're not looking good next to Geno Atkins, you're not doing your job.
Pretty much, dude. Or at least you're not good at your job, one or the other. So I thought overall, pretty solid draft. I thought that, we drafted well compared to some of our competitors here in the AFC North, and so I'm excited about it. I'm ready to go. And, everybody's a year older. McCarron looks like a solid backup now, and so we ain't going to worry about that going into this year. And, just pretty much the receivers. Other than that, the team looks pretty solid.
All right, well, with that, let's get into this whole Tyler Eifert thing.
Oh, man. I know. The guy's like the glass menagerie. Well, if he's only out for a week, I guess that's not too bad. The good sign is they haven't put him on the PUP list yet, so they must not think that he's going to be out 6 weeks. But once again, that's the thing with the Bengals. They can call it a minor injury, and then the guy doesn't play all year. You just never know. They don't give you any truth or whatever in the injury report. So, with the Bengals, I've gotten to the point where it's kind of like, I'll believe it when he hits the field.
Yeah, and we're playing the Steelers week 2, so.
Yeah, and like I say, you just never know. They can say, oh, it's a minor injury, and the next thing you know, 2 days before the season starts, he gets thrown on the PUP, and now we're looking at Tyler Kroft and C.J. Uzomah, or whatever his name is, picking up the slack, and that should be interesting. I'm hoping Kroft is ready. I really am. Whether Eifert is there or not, he's going to be an important piece to the puzzle. To give Dalton another outlet, he will, another threat that the defense has to consider, if Kroft can come through and really be productive for us. So maybe Eifert being out a week or two may not be that bad. It sounds like we're going to have to just try to survive the first 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll get Eifert back and Perfect back, and then we can make a run. So I think, honestly, it still depends on what kind of injuries you suffer through camp. And because the one thing, when you see other players go down with MCL tears and things like that, and I think one of the Jaguars picks went down, and you always feel bad for them because it could be us, and so, and God knows we've gone through that. Maybe not recently, but we definitely have gone through that before, where, camp opens in the summer and somebody takes an injury and you're like, dang it. So, just kind of hope for good health, and but we got some decent depth except that wide receiver, and we just got to go and hope we can survive those first 3 games of the year, and hope we get Eifert back and Perfect back, and then you go full charge and try to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and hopefully Jeremy Hill comes back with a vengeance this year, because he was, well, we all know he was last year before the fumble, but
well, Jeremy Hill, we got to hope for a bounce back year, and I think a lot of that isn't really depending on Jeremy Hill more than it's depending on that offensive line. We got to see how that new kid fills in for Andre Smith, Ogboy, or whatever his name is, and if he's the talent that they say he is, then that should open up some holes in the run game, and hopefully Jeremy Hill can, I think the first couple of weeks are going to be very important to him because, after ending the season pretty much on a fumble, fucking asshole, he's going to need to build his confidence back up, by having a couple good games or, and being productive. And at that point, then hopefully, he can make a run and roll off a pretty good year. At least that's what we're hoping. What do you think about the Bengals kicking the tires on old Dwight Freeney?
I can't say that I know too much about Dwight Freeney except for that he's a name. So I was interested, but did nothing come of it, right?
Not as of yet. I was going to say he went to Atlanta and visited Atlanta, but I saw a report today that Atlanta said they're not going to sign him. So, if he's going to play another year, we're basically one of his options. And it wouldn't bother me if we picked him up, if anything, for depth. And I think he had like 8 sacks or something for Arizona last year. So he's probably got a little bit of gas in the tank, enough to give us maybe 5-6 sacks and some relief on the line, because you really still don't know what you're going to get out of Marcus Hunt or Brandon Thompson or anybody else of the kids. So it would be nice to have a veteran presence, somebody who can rush off the edge and, hopefully give us a couple of sacks and at least something else for the opposing offense to worry about. But yeah, it wouldn't bother me if we signed him as long as we got him for, a nice minimum price or whatever. And right. If anything, it'd be great for the locker room.
I can get down with that.
So summer camp is about, maybe 45 days away, 50 days away, something like that. 60 at the most. So we're getting to that time of year. Like time to put the pieces together and get to it a little bit.
Yep, and time to start thinking about those fantasy squads.
I was glad you mentioned that, because we still have to put because that was one thing I was going to bring up towards the end of the conversation. Is just we need to get rolling on creating a fantasy league, and start recruiting teams and things like that. So at some point we need to really sit down and talk about rules and regulations for the league and how we're going to run it, and what's it all going to involve.
I'm actually really interested in trying to do CBS has one, which looks pretty cool.
Okay.
I mean, as far as like having access, the thing I don't like about the NFL.com one is that it seems like the information about the players is so outdated all the time. True,
but you got to also take into account that every year they're going to be updating that stuff and making improvements. So
yeah, I know, but I've been playing like the last 3 years, and every time I'm trying to, like do one of those last minute changes or just look at, information about a kicker or something, which it hasn't been updated since August, like preseason. You're like, come on.
Right?
This should be the most efficient one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You would imagine NFL.com would be.
That's what I'm saying. It's from the horse's mouth.
Right? So I would say look up CBS and look up Yahoo and And I've been on several leagues in Yahoo.com, and they've always done us well. But seeing that we want to have a keeper league and, you know what I mean, things like that, like, you know, we sit down and discuss what rules we want to have in place. And so then that way we'll know that one of those sites can, you know, can hold what we're trying to do, because we definitely need a site that will allow us to set up the league the way we want it to set it up, not the way they want it to set it up. So one of those sites should have the ability to, you know, change it to how we want it if we feel that way.
It's not Bengals related, but what's up with this whole Ryan Fitzpatrick thing? Is this still like a standstill? Ryan Fitzpatrick, is this still at a standstill?
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the bottom line of it. Basically, they want to offer him a lower amount than he wants, and to be honest with you, you can see it from both sides. Fitzpatrick wants a bigger contract because it's probably his last one. He's like 34, so it makes sense. He wants more money. The Jets know that, you know, he usually rounds out, to be an average quarterback, and so they don't want to pay him, you know, a whole lot, which makes sense from their side. And so I think what Fitzpatrick does, I mean, but they need each other. The Jets don't really have many other options, and no one else is calling Fitzpatrick, so they're kind of stuck together. And I think what you're going to do is just Fitz is going to sit it out as much as he can up until the opening of camp, just to try to squeeze as much as he can out of the Jets, and then he'll sign right before camp and get in there, I think. But, I mean, it's a smart move by him, but I can also see the Jets' point of view. Like, you don't want to commit a lot of money to that guy. Like, he's, you know, at the end of the day, he's pretty average. Like, you know, so, you know, do you want to pay him $16 million a year like Brock Osweiler or whatever it is he's getting paid? And, you know, definitely Fitz isn't worth that. I don't care what kind of year he had last year. You know, because he's kind of done this in a few places where he'll have a great season and then you pay him big money and then he just fizzles out. Like, you know, he did it with the Bengals, did it with the Buffalo, yeah. So, you know, he's got the track record there. So, you know, I mean, we'll see. But I think he'll end up signing for more of like the $12, $14 million a year range. It's just slightly below what a starter would make. And even though he's a starter, I mean, like I said, he's still 34. So you really can't expect that much more out of him, to be honest with you.
All right. Other news? What about this whole Pro Bowl thing? They're moving it to Orlando.
At this point, honestly, why even have the Pro Bowl? To be honest with you, like it's a silly exercise. Like basically, you know, then Tyler Eifert gets hurt in the Pro Bowl last year, so you know these guys are getting paid so much money now. It's not even worth their time to do a game that doesn't matter. I mean, right. You know, and they don't go all out or anything. And why would you? You know, why would you go all out on a Pro Bowl? It's not like it stands for anything or it means anything. Right. And it's not like an NBA All-Star game or a Major League Baseball All-Star game where you don't have a whole lot of physical contact. Where NFL, I mean, shit, man, that's hardcore, you know, playing right there, playing football. So the Pro Bowl just really doesn't make sense. If I were them, I'd just cut the whole damn game out and just, you know, just announce your All-Pros and leave it at that. Like, you know.
And this is how I look at it. I love football, and I would love to see a competitive football game. But I know I'm not going to get that from the Pro Bowl. So why not do what other sports are doing and just make it like a skills competition? I think that would be the most fun that you can do with football Pro Bowl. Just take the game part out of it. Then you take out all the injuries. Then you get the players competing for something that's a little bit more fun. And I think the fans will actually appreciate it a little bit more.
I'll say this. I'm not going to watch a skills competition unless there's really and literally nothing on. And even then, I might go do something else. You know, go see a movie.
Are you watching the Pro Bowl now, though?
I just, you know, I love the game of football, but I don't want to sit there and watch people do a skills competition. I mean, that's...
Yeah, but are you watching the Pro Bowl now?
No, I'm not, actually. It's been a couple of years.
Well, there you go.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to make it any better. So, I mean, just cut the whole damn thing out and call it a night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just... I mean, what kind of a...
Well, you know they're not going to do that.
What kind of competition are you going to do for offensive linemen?
Well, they're not. They're just be all pros. They'll do their own thing. They don't have to compete. Nobody wants to see them competing.
But that's what I'm saying. So it just becomes kind of stupid. Like, you know, it's just, Yeah, I just don't see the point of it. Like, I don't see the point of the Pro Bowl. I don't see the point of skills competition. I just don't see the point of any of it. It's just too violent of a game, and the players get paid too much. So now there's, a bunch of pansies and.
Well, that's why you make fun of it.
One extra hard football game.
I said, well, that's why you make fun of it with like a skills competition, because you could even take it outside of the box and have a skills competition where the offensive linemen are competing with the quarterbacks or as quarterbacks, you know what I mean? Like, you can mix up the positions, and that could be fun. See which offensive lineman can throw, the longest pass or the most accurate pass, stuff like that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit?
Yeah, well, exactly, but who gives a shit now? Who wins or who loses?
I don't know.
Or how many points they score?
I guess, to me, there is no solution to make it better. You might as well just cut it. Like, it's obviously an outdated format, and it's
but they're not going to do that. There's too much money in it.
Well, there's too much money invested into the players, and so, and like I said, honestly, the top 6 quarterbacks all cancel out of the Pro Bowl every year.
Right, and that's silly as well.
Yeah, which is great for Andy Dalton, but you know what I mean. But not, you want to see the best of the best.
But now,
But
I tell you what, after this whole Tyler Eifert thing. I think you're going to see even more people backing out of it. Obviously, a lot of people are backing out of it already, but...
Oh, exactly. So then now what do you have? You have a bunch of people who would usually finish 6th in the voting, 7th, and they're now playing in the Pro Bowl. So is it really a Pro Bowl, or is it now the middle of the way bowl?
Yeah. It's like a preseason game.
Pretty much, dude. And
it's like the 4th preseason game, because the starters aren't even playing.
And like I said, I just think the whole format is outdated and unnecessary, and just don't need it anymore. It's just not something you need. The NFL is so huge and so popular. I honestly don't even see why they're spending time dealing with the Pro Bowl, because it's not like they need the Pro Bowl to. Like Major League Baseball, everybody loves the All-Star game because those guys go at it and they play hard, and you know what I mean. So the game means something to the players. You know what I mean? You go to the NBA All-Star game, the game means something to the players. When you have a game where the game has no meaning for the players, they have no incentive to play hard, then why even play the game? It's not like the NFL needs the boost in popularity. So like I said, just save everybody some time, save everybody the money, and you already know the NFL got way too big. When they do like a red carpet show or some bullshit like the NFL awards or something, when they start doing that crap, it's like, okay, maybe it's kind of outgrown itself a little bit.
So does it interest you that this Pro Bowl this year is going to be conference versus conference?
Well, I know they're going to switch it back from a conference versus conference, which, to be honest with you, if you're going to do the game, if you're going to honor the history of the game, then do the conference versus conference. You might as well. But even then, it still doesn't mean much anymore. It just really doesn't. Like I said, there's nothing really anybody can do short of saying the players are going to take it seriously and play hard again. That's the only thing that can save the game. That's the only thing. You can invent and twist different things.
And the best players actually showing up.
That's what I'm saying. Unless the players take it seriously, I just don't see anything that's going to save that game. I just don't see it. I just don't think there's any ideas out there where I'll go, yeah, I'll watch the middle of the road players play a game, because not even the best players, they all opt out, and so, and like I said, it's stupid. It's just a dumb game, and
it's
no
worse
meaning,
than that.
no purpose, huh?
And it's worse than that. It's not even like it's the middle of the middle of the road players playing the game. They're playing the game, but not with any passion, not with any purpose. They're just going through the motions.
Yeah, just going through the motions, collecting a paycheck, and then they can say on their next contract negotiation, I was a Pro Bowler. Like, no, you wasn't, fool. You were the Pro Bowler because the top 6 people dropped out. So, So even the whole stigma of being a Pro Bowler doesn't even really matter anymore. It just doesn't matter. So, like I said, the players ruined it themselves, and by not taking the game seriously, which in another way you can't blame them because, they see no benefit of it. And so, you might as well just let it, glide gently into the night and, whatever. Just let it go. I just don't, it's like keeping an ex-girlfriend around for an extra year or two. You know what I mean? It's just like, nah, like, you know, if you know you're going to go, then just go. You know, and just, you know, and just find something different to do.
All right.
I think if they just announced the All-Pro team, that's plenty. Like, honestly, you recognize the best players, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if you're a player in the NFL, you just want to be recognized as one of the best. And so
and that way you don't have to worry about anybody showing up and alternatives and stuff. Just name the best players and just wrap it up. They'll never do that, but that would be a smart way to do it, just so the players who deserve it get the recognition.
Well, if they can find a way to milk a couple extra bucks, the NFL is going to definitely do it.
You know they will. Yeah.
You know, so I don't see the game going away, but I sure as hell don't see any way they're going to improve it. I just don't.
All right, so let's we'll end it there. But let me see if I can pry one out of you. Let me see what do you think your number one quarterback's going to be this year in your fantasy?
In the fantasy draft,
number one. Come on, give me a little something.
A number one quarterback?
Yeah, who are you looking at?
Or the number one overall player?
Nah, I want to know what your number one quarterback's going to be. I know you went Andrew Luck last year, and that was disastrous, but you know. Nobody could have called that.
Yeah, you're probably not talking to the best guy to guess on that one. If I had to guesstimate, I would say.
No, and this is for you. This is for you. Who you have your eye on?
Say what?
If all things were equal, and you had the first quarterback picked, who would you pick as your first quarterback? This is you, not in general. This is you. Your team this year.
I want to go with Mark Sanchez. I'm just kidding. I'd have to go with either. That's a tough question. I'd either have to go with Tom Brady because you know he's going to be consistent. He's got the 2 tight ends now, so he should be decently dangerous. Aaron Rodgers, maybe. I honestly don't know. There's no clear-cut favorite. I mean, you can go Blake Bortles as a decent quarterback.
I like me some Blake Bortles. You know, I picked him up after Peyton Manning just shat the bed on me last year. And Blake Bortles was the truth for me.
I just don't see. I'm just trying to see who would be Drew Brees is like 80 years old.
I mean, there's plenty of them out there. I just wanted to see if I can get you to say what quarterback you were looking for, so I could steal them.
Honestly, I'm not looking at any particular quarterback.
Yeah,
like
I'm kind of treating it like that too. Whoever falls to me, yeah, I don't think that's going to be my first need, but yeah, we'll see.
I mean, all the quarterbacks are so even that I honestly won't even pick one in the first 3-4 rounds probably.
Yeah,
somebody will drop to you that you can live with.
Right, exactly. All right,
but if we do a 12-man league, though, it's gonna change the whole draft.
Well,
because
I was gonna say it's like a regular draft. It's like when there's a run on quarterbacks, you're like, oh, well, let me get this quarterback right now, just because he might not be there next round, right? Same thing.
I mean, yeah, because you're talking about there's 12 teams. Each team drafts 2 quarterbacks. Let's say that's 24 quarterbacks out of a 32-team league, and you know the bottom 8 quarterbacks are garbage.
How about I say, yeah, you could say the bottom 12 are probably garbage.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, if we have a 12-man league, you're gonna have to really know your draft and what you're trying to get, because once you get into those later rounds, man, it's gonna be desperate time. Like, you're gonna be picking people you never even heard of.